So guess who I have? Mr. You don't need 20% down.
That's it.
Himself, Carlos Salinas.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How you doing?
I'm good. I appreciate you having me on. It means a lot.
No, it means a lot because you know what? We need to help and educate these people why you don't need 20% down.
Of course.
And in case they need to associate the name Salinas, anything for Salinas, so we need to figure out anything as to why we don't need 20% down, right?
That's it. That's it. Yeah, I mean, people get caught up with the fixation of 20%, you know, especially, you know, with limited resources and, you know, limited, you know, budgets yearly, you know, people making different, you know, type of, you know, monies. It can, you know, it can vary.
Listen, a lot of people give me a hard time about credit repair. Not a lot of people, let me just rephrase this. A lot of people don't have the priorities straight, especially with credit repair.
Right.
They're trying to budget me and ask me for a discount, and it's like, you just spent money. I just seen you in the mall. I just saw you out here. A lot of people don't even have $500 in their savings account or enough money to supplement them, God forbid, of an emergency or bills to be paid months ahead of time. So really get this 20% down.
I mean, again,
they just give us this kindergarten.
Yeah, it really depends, right? So I call myself Mr. You Don't Need 20% for a reason. You can catch it on my podcast all the time. I want to drill this notion into people's heads, especially in, you know, communities of color, where let's say the household median doesn't support having 20% for a huge payment. That's where different programs come into play, right? Like an FHA mortgage, right?
What's an FHA?
An FHA mortgage it's from the Federal Housing Administration. It's a backed mortgage by the government where you can put down as little as 3.5%, 3.5% down on, let's say, a house, 500,000. Let's see,
This house that we're in.
It costs a little bread. It costs some money. It costs some money. But you know what? In this case specifically, this is more high balance, high mortgage kind of deal. I personally wouldn't recommend less than 20% down on a house of this size. Girl, your mortgage will be astronomical. You know what I mean? So the idea when we can break it down from two different aspects. So let's start with this one, for example, right? This house went for about $850, right?
Y'all got $850.
A lot of people don't, but you know.
It's like, no, we can definitely work together. You gotta fix your credit first and get yourself
100%.
in that position. But it's like, especially with the housing market now, this house was listed at first over $100,000 more, right?
So find yourself a good agent, you know, regardless, you know, because you still don't want to negotiate those prices. My concept.
You got $100,000 over.
My thing, I'm always trying to save people as much money as possible. It's the best deal you could possibly get. Nobody wants to spend an astronomical amount of money, but sometimes, especially in the COVID market, people were overpaying. It just so happens that there's levels to everything. Sometimes when you're trying to level up, you gotta respect what's gonna happen on the top level.
Listen, if I'm buying a house at this price, you gotta believe I need some money in the bank account,
100%.
especially to cover my bills,
100%.
because a lot of people will be like, oh, look at this house, this is what I want. But it's like what my grandmother used to say, you got a champagne taste with a beer budget.
That's right, you got Budweiser budget. Yeah, that's never really pretty.
Yeah, so the thing is, you gotta know how these people don't need 20% more, like what's going on, because especially when you're buying a home, there's so many unexpected costs.
100%.
The appraisal, the inspection, listen guys, I'm gonna tell you something. If you didn't start saving your money in kindergarten, you know, a lot of people didn't. They didn't have a rich uncle, somebody that passed that you inherited some money from. you need to listen as to why. As to what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna break it down real quick, and this is basically free game, right? So
I got you guys.
Don't get caught up in the hype. Everybody thinks, that you need to be in an $800,000 house or $1 million house. When you hear those numbers, man, I can't afford no mortgage. That's about, $4,000 a month or anything like that. You don't need that. I always tell people to live within their means. You know what I'm saying? If you, what drives me crazy, I'm gonna tell you what drives me crazy, right? When I get on a flight, right? And I see, people walking in with Gucci and Prada and all these labels and everything, they look nice, but y'all headed to the coach section. What you doing in the back of the plane? You know what I mean? What you doing
My
back there?
thing is, we were just talking about this. So guys, look. Carlos sees me. He's like, every time he sees me, I'm wearing something nice,
All the time.
But the thing is me personally, I like nice things because of the quality.
Sure.
But it's like when I thought about investing into homes and buying my home. Listen, I'm buying a property soon.
No doubt.
It's like
congratulations. Level up. I like that.
This is the thing. It's like when I'm thinking about everything that's needed for this home.
Sure.
The furniture.
Correct.
My closing costs.
Correct.
Just everything. Listen, I went to, shopping. Well, I was, looking for something. I'm like, dang, this bag was how much?
Right.
It's probably the furniture set.
Correct.
Versus this pair of shoes I wanted to get, it's probably this amount. And it's yes, it's good to look nice and stuff, but if you still live in your mother's basement, living in your mom's house, your parents' house, and you still got this, we're doing something wrong here because we don't have anything to show for it. So for me, personally as an entrepreneur, there's been times I was making money. And I'm balling. Then there was times I was like, let me just chill out a little bit.
Did I eat today?
let me chill out a little bit. And people be like, she's balling. Save your money. Do it. So I had to learn it. It's a learn lesson. But
100%. And I did an episode on my podcast where we discussed generational wealth and generational curses, right? So we want to look good, but we don't want to pay good. You know what I'm saying? So I tell that to people all the time. I use the airplane example only because it puts a lot of perspective, right? My thing is assets. My thing is equity. My thing is how do I take what I have, make my money work for my money, not the money that's coming out of my pocket.
Let me tell you something. We discussed when I was on your podcast and everything. When my father passed away.
No doubt. God bless him. God bless that man.
We taught Joseph Anthony Costanza.
Very smart.
You. Look,
Very smart.
He had, I'm not going to say all our business and whatnot. Someone's going to be like,
no.
Don't say our business.
Right.
But the thing is that something that I'm grateful for is that we didn't have to worry about any debts.
No doubt.
We didn't have to worry about how we were taking care of the house.
Yep.
We didn't have to, when people are in certain positions, especially with a passing, they're like, how am I going to take care of the house? How am I going to take care of the bills? We didn't have any of that.
Right.
But we discussed that.
Right.
Mortgage paid off, house paid off. We're not in a position to, I gotta leave, I need some type of money because of the way he set things up. And I would see that as generational wealth because, he at least set us up.
He had an insurance fund?
Which
would be smart. I'm only going to guess. We didn't get into details. But if I was him, I probably would have had a term or a whole life insurance on myself because I do. Generational wealth and generational curses get broken like that. So I'm just going to guess that he probably had
something is that with that house, the house been paid off.
Nice.
So when we talk about generational wealth, you didn't have to pass that, pass down any sort of debt. You got something to your kids.
Correct.
And when we're talking about the way we invest and things like that, I would have to say I learned from him. Let it below your means, save your money, invest, stuff like that. So let's get into how you don't need 20% of that.
Yeah. So a lot of us, let's say, for example, right? We won't even discuss the high end because I say I call myself Mr. You Don't Need 20% so that it can drill it into people's heads that, make 70, 80,000, 50,000, and they're saving their money to get up to 20%, and all they're really doing is shooting themselves in the foot, right?
And they don't have that money saved.
Right, you can allocate that money in other places, right? So, let's say, for example, if I had a client that's looking for a $500,000 house, right? Or they get qualified for if you needed 20%, right? But in this case, I would tell you to first, speak to your trusted mortgage loan officer. Shout out to Evan Russell. Shout out to Andrew Russell at RCG Mortgage. Somebody that I can tell you I work with 99.9% of the time. The process starts with them. I'm the fourth person on the totem pole. I'm not even the first. People think, I'm gonna call a real estate agent, I'm gonna look at some houses. No, you not.
Listen, if you guys are looking at this video, you want to sponsor me and stuff with the shout out. but this is the thing.
That's how it works in New York. We would need to get you pre-approved first, because if I don't know what your financial situation is, and you got champagne taste, but your money is Budweiser money, then I can't literally take you to a house where you can't afford. I'm setting you up for failure. And that's the last thing I'm gonna do.
I heard there's some fake pre-approvals going on because people want to see this stuff, but my thing is, it's like, guys, first off, you need a pre-approval. You need to see like what you're working with. I would say go below, because especially in today's market,
you can be conservative, absolutely.
It's competitive.
Yep.
Because if you have to, like, let's say a house is $500,000 and your pre-approval is $550.
Yep.
You might have to kick it on to win, like a bet on the house.
So it really depends, right? So let's say, for example, we'll take that number of 550, or let's say 500, right? So if you're approved for 500, 3.5% of 500 is about 17.5. So I know for a fact, let's say, people that are making 40, 50, 60, 70 that don't hit six figures annually, it becomes a little bit more affordable. 3.5% down compared to 20. So you're taking 17.5 and you're comparing it to 100 stacks. You know what I mean? It becomes a little bit more affordable, especially for the ownership part. At the end of the day, nope, you got all your limbs, you got all your toes, you got all your organs.
You got to do some strange things for some change.
You got to do some strange things. You ain't got to do none of that. So, I would tell anybody, don't. It's like a hamster on a wheel. You're saving your money for saving your money is a good reason, but in order to buy a house and thinking you need 20%, it's not the case. Working with a professional, a really good real estate agent is going to be able to push that narrative for you, because in the local markets that he might be looking at, there are other agents that he's going to know. Hey, let's put a deal together. Hey, let's do this, let's do that, to get you where you want to be. So ownership is really not that far away. I would tell somebody, let's say for life insurance purposes, right? Between term and whole, you're taking care of your family. You're doing the responsible thing, right? That $5,000 Gucci outfit, whatever it is, or a Prada outfit. Not even just that. Let's say $30 a month. $30 a month. You could take that $5,000 and cover your family for the next 10, 15 years, $30 a month, up until whenever that $5,000, because that's longevity. That's long money. So something, tomorrow's not promised. Something happens, your family covered for the rest of your life.
The worst thing is when you see people like all decked out, and it's like, I'm sorry, with all due respect, sometimes those are the cheapest people. Like,
you hopping in a Prius,
Nothing wrong with a Prius. Hold on a second.
You got
I don't drive a Prius, but I'm just saying, like, the worst is like when you're like asking,
no doubt.
You're telling your prices, whatever. It's like, this is the person that's all decked out, they don't have the money, like, trying to lowball me, or they don't have the money to pay for it. But how do you get approved for that 3.5%? How?
Believe it or not, the qualifications for an FHA, it's really not that hard. Some people think your credit score needs to be over 700. It doesn't. I'm qualifying and selling houses to people that have a 500 credit score. 100%.
Hold up, y'all still need to work on your credit.
Oh no, of course. And of course you're going to call Alyssa.
But Yeah.
Credit score is important. But yes, let's say for example, if you have a credit score of 580, but your income is up, it kind of evens. Of course,
right.
it's a scale. If you have, if your credit is 6, it still helps you with the lower interest rate. You want to make sure you can get to the lowest interest rate possible without coming out of pocket so much.
Without PMI.
Correct.
What's PMI?
Private mortgage insurance. So anytime, no, you're good. Anytime you have a mortgage that's under 20%, you're going to pay a PMI on that mortgage, which is private mortgage insurance. That's how the government protects their investment should anything happen, foreclosure, short sale, or anything like that. The government gonna want their money, at the end of the day. So they're gonna ensure that, and you're gonna have to pay that premium on top of your FHA mortgage package. But yeah, 17.5, credited 580, not that it needs to be there, but we always recommend that you work on your credit. And another thing a lot of people don't talk about is your debt to income.
Listen, this is the thing. The biggest thing is budgeting. I would say living below your means. Think about it. If you're already at the height of something,
right,
paying your bills, and you're making money, just imagine most people are one paycheck away from being homeless, can't pay their bills, stuff like that.
That's a lot. Yeah, of course.
Things get tough. So the thing is, debt to income ratio, that's DTI.
DTI, yep.
You want to keep that 30% below. That's like the top.
Yeah.
I always say 8 to 10% is the greatest range.
Yep.
I would say 20, but.
Yep. 30% is pushing. I really wouldn't even.
Plus you got interest rates on top of that. But the biggest thing is that they're looking at your bills and they're saying, even if you make all this money, you got all this in bills. Let's say you make $100,000, and you got $8,000 worth of bills every single month.
Right.
Where are we gonna live at? Somebody's basement.
Yeah. You could
pay a good amount.
You could call the people that own this house. They got a big ass basement. You could live downstairs. I'm teasing. But I totally agree with you. Trying to live with, beyond your means. Who you flossing for? Who you trying to stay drippy for? Like it's ridiculous. I would tell people, the biggest investment that you can make would be you know what I mean?
Thank you.
For real. Invest in you, invest in property, own something. You know what I mean? Don't lease a Benz or finance a Benz. Oh my God. And then end up in your mom's house, like you said. That's hustling back. You know what I mean? That's not.
So
it's my thing.
So if you're not qualified for that 3.5%, you're gonna have to put some money down. So I think, guys, you're going to look maybe a little tour of what this how much is this house? Over $800?
Yeah,
guys,
it's
we live in New York. This is a prime time in real estate.
That's
So, some people may be wondering, my voice is echoing. It's a pretty big house.
Yes, it's a little echoey. The house is completely empty. It was completely renovated.
I was just saying it's a big house. That's why I'm echoing.
right. Got you. Yeah, no, it's we're in a great area. We're in the Wisconsin area in Long Island, Smithtown School District. This is one of the premier places to live. Long Island is booming right now. You know what I mean? A lot more over than a lot of other places in New York, especially after the pandemic. People rushed to be in the burbs because nobody wanted to be in the city. As beautiful as the city is, people realized quick that the city became almost like a prison cell. So backyards became a thing, acreage became a thing, and then people migrated out east, migrated up north. You know what I mean? And the whole game changed. So
Okay. So, if you're not getting qualified for that, FHA, you gotta be prepared to have that 20%.
100%. So 20% will allot you a little bit more flexibility on the package that they put together. Because remember, anytime you discuss any numbers with the bank, the idea for them is to put you in a package or put a package together for you.
Who puts together these packages?
The bank or your broker. So let's say I call Andrew Russell, right? Andrew or Evan Russell, we're gonna talk, we're gonna ask you all types of questions, finance, your DTI, credit, everything, what you have in the
I
bank.
guess it depends how much they like you.
Yeah, but yes. Nobody ever wants to work with somebody that doesn't, appreciate the work. But at the end of the day, these people just see it numbers. They want to make sure that they're going to get you across the finish line. In the case of this deal for this house, the buyer actually had 20%. So they were able to get a phenomenal rate.
What did you do? No, let me stop that.
You're drunk dealer. No, I'm just playing. No. It's it was good. Sometimes depending on life savings, people can tap into their 401s. People can receive gifts. People can receive sometimes there are let's say if you're in the military. Sometimes people that are wounded in battle. Sometimes receive money from the government. Let's say as far as disability, there are so many avenues to help people attain the American dream as far as property. You know what I mean? And all you gotta do is reach out and get it. Just make sure you're surrounding yourself with qualified professionals that's gonna help you get the bag at the end of the day. That's as real as I can put it.
So the biggest thing too is with all of this, you gotta make sure whoever you're working with has your best interest.
Oh, 100%.
They know what they're talking about. Not like, me, this is what I do for you, we do this, we do that. Because we were just even discussing before, people that we worked with, who we're gonna work with, who we want to work with, and stuff like that is quality over quantity.
That's a fact.
Because you have, things have to make sense. The numbers have to make sense. You have to see certain things come into fruition.
Okay.
It's like, as much as you want to support some people, and they're like, yeah, I'll get you this, I'll get you that, just weigh out your options. See what's best for you. I've known homeowners, they've been working with people, home buyers.
Sure.
They were working with funds, and nothing was moving and shaking. Found someone else. Like that, it just happens. So go with what's best for you, go with your gut,
I would.
Your gut feeling, not your gut,
I'll keep it as simple as this, right? A ham and cheese is simple, right? Let's compare it to deli. You got the ShopRite brand, and then you got Boar's Head. You know what I'm saying? You got the Boar's Head cheese, you got the ShopRite brand. What sandwich you gonna want?
I don't even eat anymore, but
That's tough. That's right.
But we're comparing some things here.
And that's all it is. Everybody might be a real estate agent, but nobody, I do this full time. This is my career. I manage my own team, with Douglas Elliman. I'm one of the top agencies in the United States or the world, because they backed me and saw, my potential in the service and the level of service that I provide for my clients. So I try to help the agents that are working with me or for me to try to level up to get to that,
The
place.
biggest thing is the level up, but also the biggest thing is whoever you're working with, that they actually have your back, so that way you're not coming so much out of pocket and struggling, or you're stressed out all the time. We were just discussing before, me personally, I fired a few people this week because this ain't making sense. And it's as much as you love somebody and you like them, you gotta do what's best for you. So if you need a realtor and you're in New York, you're on Long Island, you gotta go with Salinas.
Anywhere in New York, Carlos Salinas, Douglas Elliman, Smithtown, Mr. You Don't Need 20%. Holla at me. I promise. I roll my sleeves up. I may be in the suit.
He literally rolled his sleeves up.
I may be in the suit, but I promise you, I can dive into the trenches and I make it happen. I get it. I make it happen. We get to the end goals, which is most important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Made it happen.
That's it.
With this house.
I mean, it took a little bit, but the negotiations were right. I don't let up. You know what I mean?
Hold on, we just want to highlight this over here. So when we were discussing this house, I asked some questions. I'm not saying I'm nosy, but I need to know. So he negotiated some stuff on this house, guys. I'm going to tell you what this house is, and I'm just like, who negotiate that? In today's market,
So it really, again, it doesn't matter how much you make. It doesn't matter what your status is. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I'm still gonna try to get you the best possible deal. You could be a bajillionaire. We're gonna try to cut some numbers down, make sure that it's more affordable, And
it has to make sense.
Of course, you know, my job is to make sure you're gonna buy something low so you can sell it high. Equity is beautiful. Equity is a beautiful
Or
word.
when you buy that house, that you're not in the corner looking for ramen noodles.
That's
like
a
you're selling
fact.
good. Your
Yeah.
times to come.
No ramen diet. None.
Not just
Yeah, none of that. None of that.
So this was great, Mr. You don't need
That's it.
20% down.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have another episode and we can look at this house.
Yeah, of course,
Listen,
of course.
I love the kitchen.
Listen, you know, usually kitchens are white, but this one kind of works with brown in it. Yeah. You know, this is, you know, stainless steel appliances, everything is updated. The island. Yeah, there's a lot that this house has to offer, especially the space in the times that we're in. So, in-ground pool, pavers all around, on a cul-de-sac block, you can't ask for anything more.
If you're wondering what that means, what's a cul-de-sac?
Cul-de-sac is when you have a street that ends, but there are houses along the circular end of your street. Cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac.
Mhm.
So,
That means money. When you start hearing words you can't pronounce, like,
I know what it meant, but I had to tell the viewers.
okay, I got you. Yeah.
So guys, that's it for today. Mr. You don't need 20% down.
I
Thank you so
appreciate you.
much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Maybe we'll see this house next episode. Stay tuned. So
Okay.
thank you so much, guys. Be blessed.
Cool.